All right, look at your box score. Jared Goff, I mean, he gave it away in this one. 3 interceptions. There was a fumble as well, not his, but 4 takeaways by this Bears defense. Had them looking like they were headed for their 4th win of the season. Justin Fields, I mean, it's a Justin Fields stat line right there. All-purpose, yes, but 16 of 23, $169 and a touchdown. A win here maybe would have quieted some of those Caleb Williams talks, but in Chicago, it's the only question being asked. I stand corrected. I have a second question, and I'm going to start with that one.
All right.
How is your coach after this one? Matt Eberflus was on the hot seat. You have a 97% chance to win with 4 minutes remaining. Whether it be the play calling, the prevent defense, somebody has to take responsibility for this, and it seems the coach has not at times this year. What do you make of the coaching job here by Matt Eberflus late in the game?
It hasn't been great all year, and you could argue it hasn't been great for the last almost 2 years now. And here's the thing, when the games no longer matter, and of course every game matters in the NFL, but when it's clear that you're not going to be a playoff team, we sometimes see coaches, especially coaches whose jobs may be on the line, start to take chances that they previously wouldn't. And it's hard to find instances where Eberflus consistently does that. It's not necessarily something you want. You want your coach to always play at his best or coach at his best, and we haven't seen that for various reasons. Yes, Justin Fields has been out for some time, but Tyson Bagent more than held his own as an undrafted rookie free agent. I thought Justin Fields came in, and I think you would agree, Joe, and did a fantastic job for being on the shelf for the last few weeks, and at moments flashed like the franchise quarterback that they thought they were getting, but it hasn't added up. And the questions become, when you have 2 first-round picks, the 1st overall and currently the 3rd or 4th overall, depending on how this day settles itself, there are going to be a lot of tough questions asked, and the answers may involve Matt Eberflus having to get some cardboard boxes and relocating. And that's just the reality of how the NFL works. When you're sitting at 3-8, you've underachieved. There's no way, you talked about the 97% win probability late in this game, that you should lose this football game, given the way that both sides of the ball played. We talked about how well Tyreek Stevenson, the rookie, stood out. All the turnovers. When you get 4 turnovers, you can't lose a football game, yet here we are. It feels like the same old story on a different day, and the Bears have to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it, and those answers have been tough to come by in recent years.
To the original question, it is always worth noting that in the 103-year history of the Charter franchise, no coach has ever been fired in season. It's not how they do their business. They might have to change how they're doing their business, because business is not good right now in Chicago in terms of football and other sports. Different conversation, different day. Let's stay here. Inside 5, down by 10 or more, teams this year 0-84. We are now 1-84 because the Detroit Lions complete this comeback.
Number 1 in something.
Let's talk about Detroit, because this wasn't going to be the loss that derails them, but it was going to be the head-scratcher coming off a nice victory over the Chargers that you say, is Detroit for real? The second we start talking about a team, they do something like this to complete this comeback does what for this group?
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier as this game was going on, and it felt like it was going to be a done deal that the Bears were going to win this thing. Lesson learned, don't count the Bears in until the last second is off the clock. But week 1, they beat Kansas City. The Detroit Lions do come back, lose at home to Seattle. Week 6, they beat Tampa Bay, come back and get their doors blown off on the road in Baltimore. This looked to be following that same pattern you talked about last week. They beat the Chargers, and this week they did not show up prepared, at least for the first 45-ish minutes of this game. We saw the mistakes by Jared Goff, which have been few and far between this season. We saw the mistakes by the defense to allow some of those deep throws by Justin Fields. And then they came together, and for a franchise that over the last 10, 15 years has struggled to find consistency week in and week out, year in and year out, Dan Campbell has this team believing, and I think there were moments, and you talked about one where it looked like Dan Campbell was going to rip his hat in half and eat it. There are moments where they come together where in years past the seams would come undone and the whole thing would collapse in front of our eyes. So I think that's progress in terms of just staying in the moment on that level, and also progress in terms of the wins and losses, because this team, as we currently sit here, is 1/2 game back of the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC.
A different type of adversity here on Sunday, and one they deal with in a winning manner. It is a comeback victory, a historic one in terms of this season, the largest comeback inside of 5 minutes yet this year. Again, 0-84 inside 5, down 10 or more. Say it out loud, Chicago. 0-84 inside 5 minutes, down 10 or more. Multiple possessions, unforgivable loss for Chicago, but one man's loss is another's victory. The Lions off to their best 10-game start in the Super Bowl era, 8-2, and as Ryan Wilson pointed out, second to only those Birds in the conference.
So, despite what Mayor went wrong in that moment, how do you feel coming out of the game victorious?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to play bad and win than it is to play bad and lose, and kind of what we did today. We played not our best ball and not my best ball for about 3.5 quarters, and found a way to make it work there at the end. It's a sign of a good team. We're a resilient group. We're tough. We we have a lot of courage, and we don't back down from anything.
Interceptions can be bad luck sometimes.
Yep.
I would say 2 of your 3 were bad luck with tip ball on the
Yep.
midfield. Are those ones more challenging to overcome because it's out of your control?
I'd say the opposite. The two that the one where Sam ran into the guy and then the ball that was tipped, I kind of just that's just part of doing business. And the one where I hit the guy in the chest, where I never saw him. That's on me, and I can't do that to our team and put us in that spot. And not something that I can do to our team. I need to be better in that situation. But yeah, to your point, I think the other two I can kind of let them fall off my back pretty easy.
Yeah, you typically a cool kind of play you got, but it was just a wavy moment. You get the loud cheer, introductions, then they booed you at one point out there. They cheered you.
Did they? I actually didn't hear that. I heard about that, but I didn't hear it. They booed the first play of the 2-minute drive that we scored on too. So. No, we love our fans, man. We love our fans. They're so great. They had a lot to boo about today. Maybe appreciate it if they wouldn't, but it's all right. I get they're passionate and emotional, and they win games for us here at home. I mean, they really do. They how loud they are for us on defense, and then how much energy we feel from them after we score or a big play, all that stuff. It's so important, and I understand their passion and feel their pain at times, and I appreciate them for being as passionate as they are.
David had 40 yards, I think, on that last drive combined. Just the importance
Yeah.
he's had in this.
Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud, and I know this game meant a little extra to him, and he showed up. He really did, and him getting that touchdown at the end is kind of poetic, but he played well all day. He played well all day. If we could have sustained drives a little bit more, I think it would have been a big day for him, and yeah, he did a good job.
The 2-minute offense
Whatever
was.
the moves were, whatever they were, a sign that expectations have changed here, and they're surprised when you're not beating this team in the normal season. I suppose that's a positive to take out of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
It worked in that line.
no, yeah. I don't. It's again. It's like I get it. They're upset. I'm upset. They can be upset and boo. It's all right. But yeah, I think the expectations for our team are higher than they've ever been, and we want to win home games in front of our home fans against division opponents. And today we ultimately did that. We didn't get there on a straight line, but we ultimately came out with the W. And again, it's a testament to how tough and courageous we are on offense and defense.
Looks like that trust continues to build with Jameson. Just his catch there, that play, to go
Yeah.
to him in a big moment there,
Yeah.
and trust him. That seems to be building pretty good here.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks for him have been so good, and he's practiced so well, and we do trust him now. We do trust him a lot, and I trust him to make that throw in that situation. And he's doing a hell of a job blocking. He's doing all of his assignments correctly. He's doing a really, really good job, and it's starting to come on really nicely for us. And as he continues to progress, the level to which our offense could possibly go with him continuing to progress is pretty exciting.
The 2-minute offense was everything for you guys today. Really 3 touchdowns kind of out of it. Was there a point in your career where you just got really comfortable in that aspect of the game?
Yeah, I think I don't know if there's a certain point, but I think as you get older, you start to see more things happen crazy, both on TV. You're on the opposite side of one of those, so you start to know that it's possible, and that this is how much time was left when we started that last drive, 4.5 minutes. Like you're thinking of well, how is the scenario that we win? What is the scenario that we win? And I'd say sometime in the last few years is when that kind of as you grow older as a quarterback, you kind of understand in those scenarios that there is an avenue to win. You may not feel it, you may not know it, but you can find it and you can get there. And new for us, we had to score quickly. Before the 2-minute warning, we'd have a good chance. They drive it down. I think prior to that, when they handed the ball off on 3rd and 10, and then kicked the field goal, we go, okay, they're letting us have a chance to win this with 2 touchdowns. Like, sounds good. And, it was. You see that path to winning there at the end.
Is that calculating that math in your head calming? I mean, just being able to play out the scenarios in your mind?
Yeah, and I had a pretty good feeling that if we got in a 2-minute drill, we'd be able to move the ball like we did in the first half. But you never know. But yeah, I had a good feeling that once we got into our 2-minute no huddle offense, that we could get them on their heels a little bit and score pretty quickly.
Maybe staying even keel was another path to victory for you, but it seems like you've always been able to do that. Can you just explain maybe why, where that comes from, the importance of that no matter what is going on? You know,
Yeah.
there's a piece, I guess, to involve.
Yeah, I don't take my job lightly, and my job is so much greater than how good I do. It's so much greater than what my stats are or how many touchdowns I can throw. It's about being there for my teammates and being the best I can be on every play and throughout the game. And even when things aren't going my way, I'm not playing as well as I'd like to early on. How do I find a way to kind of center myself back to what my true job is to be my best on every play and do everything I can for my teammates. He's playing so well. I just told him I'm happy that he's back from injury. He's such a dynamic player in our league, and anytime those guys are healthy now, I wish he didn't play so well against us all the time, but he's a dynamic player and he's fun to watch, and he's a young, exciting player, and I just told him it's fun to have him back healthy.
We asked you so many questions. We asked you so many questions about expectations in the off season, and you said at that point when it was still summer, we've done nothing yet. At this point, what have you guys accomplished so far?
8-2. That's about it. We're in a good place right now, and feel great. We still have yet to accomplish anything in the grand scheme, but have won 8 games out of 10, and that feels pretty good. I'll give Lindsay one more. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Back-to-back weeks winning in the last second of the game, the final seconds of the game, I should say. Can these experiences help you guys go down the stretch and potentially move the playoffs? Or?
Yeah. I think I've been on good teams, bad teams, really good teams, really bad teams, and you tend to figure that the good teams are the ones that kind of win those games late, and it's like you don't really know why or how, but you always make the right play in the fourth quarter. Or you Hutch gets a sack there, or, we score on the run play as opposed to getting stuffed. Like little things just keep happening that go your way, and that's a sign of a good team. And last week was no different. Winning on that field goal, being able to convert on that fourth down, kick the field goal. But yeah, it's a sign of a good team, and ultimately reflects itself in the record. But it feels good to win another close one and validate what we've been working on.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.